Hello, I'm Adrian, and welcome to Fight Scene Breakdown. Today we're taking a look at the highly requested fight scene in Spider-Man 2 where Spider-Man faces off against Doc Ock. Before everybody was claiming that the 15 minutes of Spider-Man in Civil War was his best cinematic appearance ever, Spider-Man 2 held that honor, and for good reason. The film delves into what it truly means to be Spider-Man, the numerous sacrifices he had to make in his life, the people he had to push out of it, the psychological toll it took on him to the point of literally affecting his powers. It's a fantastic story and to this day holds up extremely well. And what makes it even better is that this time Spidey was up against one of his most classic villains, the hyper-intelligent Doc Ock, and they face off in an incredibly awesome sequence. In this particular scene, as Dr. Octopus puts it, they have agreed to meet to talk. But as we all know, that means beating the living daylights out of each other. Sam Raimi is an excellent visual storyteller as witnessed in the spine-chillingly great scene in which Doc Ock's mechanical arms gain consciousness. And lucky for us, that meant we were treated to really fantastic fight sequences between Spider-Man and Doc Ock. He knows when to keep the camera far and when to go in close, and routinely takes advantage of the character's superpowers. For example, here we only see an overhead shot of the two exchanging blows, and it isn't until a couple seconds later where the camera pulls out and we see exactly where they are fighting, on the side of the train. In other words, only these two could pull that off. Or take this sequence where we see Spider-Man set up a devastating counterattack. The medium-wide cuts to a close-up of the clock, and we cut back to Spider-Man locking onto the falling clock hand. We switch the shot 180 degrees, still falling with Spider-Man, and mimicking the tensile strength of his webbing, the camera slowly bops up again, quickly cutting to Spider-Man launching it back to Ock, and it hitting the floor right beneath him. In short, it's a visually intense spectacle of a battle. Spider-Man, like Superman, is not a trained martial artist. However, due to his spider sense, he's able to predict attacks and can easily block or dodge them. This in turn leads to a fight that is a very well balanced mix of presentation fighting and actual fighting. His spider sense is most easily seen right here as he dives off the clock tower. He smacks the first arm to the side, kicks the next one, dodges the third, deflects the fourth and the fifth before landing his cross and uppercut. A note here is that although Spider-Man fans know he pulls his punches to prevent killing his opponent, a small line of dialogue referring to that at some point in the film would have helped explain why Doc Ock didn't immediately collapse as he received these two punches by Spider-Man. His tentacles may be superpowered, but his head certainly isn't. Most of the fight actually follows this pattern. Doc Ock is very clearly an offensive powerhouse and continuously launches his tentacles at Spider-Man, while Spider-Man dodges or blocks and goes in for a counterattack whenever the opportunity presents itself. My favorite move of the fight is this moment right here when Spider-Man takes advantage of both his strength and his webbing. As he is in the air, he fires his webbing, hooking onto Doc Ock's claws, and pulls on the webbing to somersault himself in for a truly amazing drop kick. Join my Patreon to get access to cool behind-the-scenes stuff and a bunch of other rewards. What did you guys think of the fight? Which fight would you like me to analyze next? Subscribe, and you can follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and brand new Facebook fan page, Godzilla Rex. See you next time.